Good evening, and welcome to Xbox Tavern's X-Pod Tavern, episode 118th. I'm Jamie, as always, and this Sunday I am joined by MPV Graham.
Hello.
Hello, MPV Graham. How are you this week?
I am great. How are you?
I'm as always spiffing. It's been very quiet. I haven't really spoke to you this week very much. We should we should catch up throughout the next hour and a half ish of Xbox Tavern goodness. But we've also got Scottish Gruff Ross to join in the conversations about video games, all shapes and sizes. Scottish Gruff Ross, how are you?
I'm not too bad. Yourselves?
Wonderful.
All good.
Wonderful.
Good.
Spiffing. Just through this week, Millie Man Ian is away on one of his 15 holidays this month, and special guest pieces otherwise engaged. So yes, just the three of us. We're going to get into some news about Starfield, whichever one it may graft. We're going to get into some games we've been playing and some other bits and pieces. So let's start with what we've been playing, gentlemen. And I'm going to get to Graham first, because looking down the list here, as we discussed just before we started, he's probably the only one who's actually touched his Xbox this week, despite me and Ross actually playing a hell of a lot of other games. So Graham, why don't you tell us all about the game you've been playing, please?
The game I've been playing and reviewing is a game called Demon Skin. I picked it up because of the review ones, there was a lot of puzzlers ones out there, and I didn't fancy doing some sort of puzzling element or any kind of bloody simulation thing that keeps cropping up. So I thought I'd give this one a try, and it seemed quite interesting. The artistical layout of the sort of a 2D platformer was quite cool, especially like I can't remember the Iron thing game that sort of Dan was playing, and he had so much fun with it. I thought I'll give this one a try. It looks like in a similar kind of a vein, and the only sort of short summary I could kind of describe it is a 2D Dark Souls.
Okay.
That's the best way I can kind of describe it. You're like a really powerful kind of warrior who's been kind of stripped of all his power, and he's kind of like this weak creature, and he kind of has to build up his strength by sort of picking up weapons that he finds or like they're hidden around. And there's some cool combos in there, some cool sort of finishing moves, but a lot of it is still, as not that it shows in that trailer, you have to do a lot of dodging, rolling, backpedaling, because you have a stamina meter as well. So
the game would be complete without a stamina meter, right?
I was going to say, in the first 30 seconds, I've seen like 3 Sparta kicks. I'm tempted.
But you may also know it says die trying, and this game proper emphasizes on the fact of you dying. First thing to notice is the fact that every time you die, you have a kill counter at the bottom corner, just to let you know how many times you've been killed so far, which mine's already in like the 50s, I think it is, if not higher, because there's lots of one-hit kill areas. There's one-hit kill spikes, there's one-hit kill things that swing around your head, and things falling down. If they touch you, just instant death. And there's even achievements for certain instant deaths. Fall into a lava, achievement, instant death. Get squashed by one of those columns, achievement, instant death.
They're well aware that you're going to you're going to need some sort of incentive to keep playing if you're going to get getting killed all the time. And
they did like probably one of the most annoying kind of things. So rather than putting like a checkpoint right before these kind of annoying platforming elements that require almost immense timing, they like put a little fight with in between that bit. So you have to win the fight and then go do the platforming, which is really tricky as bulls, and you die. Then you go back to the checkpoint, you have to fight the guy again and then go into it. So yeah. The rageometer goes right to the bing, 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 hits the top.
Why does it feel like the developers just want to piss you off in this game? You don't get any achievement, you don't get any satisfaction out of it. Just how many ways can we make a nice game that's going to piss you off?
Yeah, just when you sort of want to get into that, they're sort of really sort of wellying someone. Nope, the stamina meter. You've got about 3 or 4 swings in you, and then you're just sort of takes about half of them. It's like you're playing like the old Raw game on the original Xbox. It's sort of slow-mo punch.
Slow punch, yeah.
Yeah. That kind of thing. So you can't just go gung-ho heavy on it, and you just have to keep sort of tactical rolling to try and gain an edge.
Does the rolling and that take the stamina as well? Did you say? Or was
Yep,
it just
takes a little bit. So you can't just whack and roll. You have to save a little bit of stamina left to roll away. Otherwise, yeah, you just leave yourself wide open to be chomped. And it's almost like they had a pretend blocking system. So you use your right analog stick to sort of block. You've got like high, medium, and low kind of attacks from the enemies. You kind of get like a half a second timing window where they tell you where they're going to hit. And so you have to have the right stick aiming at the right bullet to sort of block it. Tried it on some of the enemies and they were still hurting me anyway. So it's almost like, well, fuck blocking. Blocking ain't doing me any favors. And like health is quite scarce. You get a rare health pickup from a chest, or occasionally there's like a scorpion or something on the ground that you can munch on that gives you some health back. But so you really have to be quite precious around your health. So obviously, once you get to a checkpoint, you're fine to sort of go a little bit gung-ho, but until you get bored of just constantly dying, and it'll be super, okay, well, I have to sort of be very switched on how to sort of do this. And it's not just speed run it either, because you need to hit them to sort of level up, to sort of upgrade your health, stamina, and strength to sort of be able to compete with them. So it's no good just trying to evade everyone, because you need that kind of XP to be able to get more stamina to sort of last longer in fights. And yeah, they do the annoying thing as well. Just as you're platforming, flying enemies just come around just to try and annoy you and sort of put you off your game as you're trying to do some of the platforming.
And you're flying off the platforms into your death and stuff like that.
But yeah, not it's enjoyable, but frustrating, like deliberately frustrating. Like, you know, they kind of put these in there to kind of make the game take that bit longer. It's just the instant death bits. You kind of need the save point right before the instant death bits, just because, yeah, the fight and the little bit of bits in between is annoying when you know you're going to walk into something that could be an instant death piece. There's a bit where you have to dodge multiple spinning blades, and that's a pain in the ass. And you died like 12 times in a row just trying to be sort of just trying to blunt force my way through. And then, yeah, there's no blunting force your way through in some of these. You just need sort of immense time.
So when you die, when you get killed by whatever it is that killed you, do you lose, like in Dark Souls, if you lose your souls and stuff?
Oh, no, you don't lose.
Go back and collect it. You literally just get back to the.
As I'm saying, the bit in between. So if the bit in between was a little bit of platforming, you jump this way to grab a chest, to grab the items out of it, to then go on to the platforming bit. You have to do that every time you die.
Oh, okay.
So that's the pain in the ass bit. Saying, oh, you have to jump up here, go this way to grab a chest, get some potions and a new weapon, and then go on this bit to the like extremely hard platforming area. And if you die, you have to do that every time until you get past that platforming area.
I mean, you're not selling it to me. I'm not going to lie.
So to get flashback to some of the game, I can't think of the names of them, but yeah, it's something like you said, like doing the same bit over and over again. Right, I got all the items, I'm dead. Okay, get all the items, I'm dead again.
Yeah. So I mean, I understand it's kind of like once you get past that bit, it's the feeling of the reward and progression for like perseverance. But it's that in between bit. They needed to put the checkpoints before the really hard platforming bits, because that's the annoying part, not the challenge. The challenge bit is annoying a lot for some people, but putting that bit in between the challenge is like, that doesn't need to be there. It doesn't need to be like that. That's just sloppy design. Surely they did
either that or, like you said, intentional.
Yeah. Because you're not going to give those bits up, because you need those potions, so you have to do that every time. So but yeah,
fun. So when it comes to actual combat, how is the combat film?
It's good because there's so many sort of variety of different weapons. You got your blunt weapons, your bladed weapons. Some are a bit longer, some are a bit shorter, and that affect your speed. Each different weapon type has its own combo. Some certain weapons have a special move that you can do. So the combat in there is quite good if you can sort of work it out. There is a little bit of like memory recognition of certain enemies that you know, like, oh, this sort of giant scorpion thing's always going to gob some acid at you, so you know to roll at that point. Or if you're facing a dwarf, you know he's going to come at you with a free hit combo, so just duck back, wait for him to finish his combo, go in for a bit, roll out the way. That kind of sort of pattern recognition. So it's a little bit of that. That's why I said it's kind of Soulsy. Sort of you have to learn their enemy patterns, and then if you're really kind of good time, you can use the blocking against certain enemies, and then sort of get your turn to sort of have a go back. But I haven't mastered that quite. I've tried, but then you're so precious over your health. It's like it's not even worth the gamble. I'd rather sort of duck back and roll so I don't get hit, than try and hope that I can block their attack.
So tough, but slightly fun. Then, if I'm listening,
yeah. I'm
correctly.
not gonna lie, it's kind of fun. I do find it fun. It's just some bits are frustrating, and it's like deliberately frustrating. But yeah, for a 2D kind of sort of platformer like that, it is good fun.
Bit of old school difficulty as well as
yes.
adding in the Dark Souls that every game has to include these days. Yeah, nice. So, any more thoughts on the game, Ross? Has it tempted you at all?
I mean, what was referencing in regards to the game that Dan reviewed, like the one that had everything happening sort of like in the background where you could see it happening, but your wee character was just running along in front of it. That type of idea, I quite like the idea. It's almost like, is it 2.5D or something, or 2.5D? That is like that sort of style. And like the trailer, I know Gray was saying a lot of it's like missed out in regards to like the Dark Souls feeling of it, where there is like a lot of the dodging, duck, dip, dive, dodge stuff. But the actual action that they showed you, it looked quite cool. But if it's got that sort of high difficulty level, I've not got that skill to get to those checkpoints.
Yeah, I ain't got the skill or the patience. not one for me. But any more thoughts, Gray? Or should we move away from Xbox games and into the world of multi-platform?
No, unleash yourselves. I know you're bursting at the seams to talk about it.
Well, I'll let Ross go first because it's slightly
You're too generous.
More, I was going to say more relevant, but it's not really, is it? Because we can't play on Xbox. Ross, tell me about what you've been playing on the other side.
So I have been playing some Ghost of Tsushima. Possibly one of the best looking games I've ever played. I always thought that nothing could top The Witcher, just in regards to like landscapes and stuff like that. It's just mind blowing. As I was saying at the start of the show, there was a section. It was nothing spectacular. It wasn't like it was a story strong section of the game, but just riding through a forest very similar like the one that's in the trailer, but it was like cherry blossom. And as you can see, like the wind effect with like the blossom kicking up, and the way that like the sun comes through the trees and it would catch like the hilt or the edge of the samurai sword, and you get like the effects on it. It's just absolutely stunning game. Storyline, basically you're the sort of last member of a great house in Japan, sort of the Sakai family. You were trained by the sort of lord of the island in Tsushima. He gets kidnapped by the Mongols. It's during like the first Mongol invasion of Japan. Raid your village, kill everybody that you know. Have got like this guy who's basically your mentor captive, and it's basically building up to try and sort of fight him back. You get the inevitable boss fight right at the start where you try and regain your honor, and you get your fucking arse kicked right off the side of a bridge. Basically, as you see him cutting around, he's got arrows in his back. He's like nursing his sword to go and try and kill this massive, big Genghis Khan-like Mongol, and get absolutely fucking ruined. So there's quite a bit. I don't want to say there's stealth in it. You don't need to play it stealthy. Just before Gray checks his cell completely. It's a part of the storyline in it that it's like stealth is against your code. Because you're always taught with honor, you should face your full face on. You should never like attack from behind and stuff like that. So like
don't give him more ammunition, Ross.
Your samurai way is like you confront your enemies, you let your enemies see you, and that's how you fight. But because you're like one man via the Mongol army, you've basically got to like get into camps and be subtle and try and not raise the alarm and stuff like that. But if you get caught, it doesn't automatically end the mission. You just have a shit ton of fucking Mongols to deal with. It's not an easy game, but it's not Souls level. So you can't just run up to enemies and just like spam the attack button and think you're going to like come out without any scratches. Like if you try and do that, they're just going to block you, which stumbles you, and then when you're stumbled, you're completely exposed to any sort of attack. So you need to learn to block, you need to learn to evade, you need to learn to sort of read their attacks. But between how beautiful the game looks, how solid the storyline is, and just the sheer amount of customization that's in it, like the amount of outfits you've got, the different types of swords you can have, your masks, there's loads of different masks you can get, there's different horses, just tons that you can actually do to Jin, who's the character. Quite possibly one of the best games I've played in the last 5 years.
High praise indeed.
Like visually, Witcher's the only game that comes close in my eyes. Feeling that nothing. I mean, you'll see like by the screenshots. That's as much as it says is a mixture of in-game and footage. That's how the game looks. Like that's the high praise I can give it. I'm as I was saying at the start of the show, I've maybe only put 2.5 hours into the actual story, and the rest of the time has been exploring and sitting in photo mode, just like taking 500 different photos with all the different filters, because you can play it like old school Japanese films where you've got like the grey, black and grey, where like the crackle features through the screen. You can play the whole game like that if you want. It's just I'm shocked it's taken me 3 years to play it, but if it keeps on building the way it's building, it'll move into my top 5 games of all time. It's incredible.
Serious brains. Wow. So this is on obviously on PlayStation. You got it as part of the PlayStation Plus.
Yeah, they're basically like the Game Pass for PlayStation type idea.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, like I said before we started, I might be tempted to subscribe at some point in the near future when I've got time. Not that I'll have any time anytime soon, but because I would like to try it at the very least. But
it's basically like it was between like games like that and Sekiro. Sekiro is a full blown sort of Souls game, which is what always sort of put me off. But this to me, it's like the perfect difficulty. Like you can't be hashy bashy. You can't just expect to mow everything down. But at the same time, it's not like, oh, I'm dead again. Oh, that's
yeah.
So would you rather play this or Trek to Yomi?
Trek to Yomi was good. I like Trek to Yomi. It just got a bit repetitive. Whereas this,
got very old very quickly.
And it's just like even wee bits. Like there's a feature in it called the Showdown, and basically it's like 1v1. So like they've got like a group of folk behind them, and you can basically call somebody out. And it's like he's a base standing there in pose, ready to strike, and then like they'll faint, and if you react, then you get killed. But you don't know how many feints there's going to be. You don't know if they are going to faint, so you need to be ready to like react.
Yeah.
And just some of the animations, like once they strike and you sort of cut them down, it goes like slow motion, and then you see the angle that the blade has cut through them, and then like the blood spurts follows the blade motion. It's just such an amazing game.
Oh, very nice. It's kind of one of those titles everybody goes, oh, PlayStation does tremendous third person first party games like Last of Us, Uncharted, and Ghost of Tsushima. So yeah, perhaps we'll get some examples of that on our console of choice in the near future.
I mean, out of the ones that I've played The Last of Us, the first one. I've played this. I've played Horizon. I've played Uncharted. I've played what's the other one that I can't think of off the top of my head? God of War, innit? God of War. Out of all of them, this is probably the best that I've played.
That's a pretty high praise considering you name some of them titles you named.
I mean, I've platinum God of War, the Ragnarok. I've platinumed the first one as well. I've 100%ed both of those games. This is, to me, better. And I think I could be swayed slightly more because it's like the samurai side of it, and I love sort of Japanese culture in regards to like the samurai and stuff. But yeah, this game is mind-blowingly beautiful. I genuinely can't think of another game that comes close to how nice this game looks.
High praise indeed for a PlayStation exclusive from Xbox Tavern's Xbox Tavern. Cool. Thank you very much, Graham. Was that tempted to make you want to go buy a PlayStation now? I know you're a massive PlayStation fan, obviously.
Well, I'm interested to play it, but not as much go as far as buying a PlayStation just for it. I'm not.
Well, when I lend you my PlayStation to play The Last of Us, you can play that at the same time then.
No. I don't mind playing Ghost of Tsushima, but you can stick your pretend zombie Tomb Raider nonsense up your ass.
I don't really ever resort to that, so I'm going to move on to what I've been playing this week, if that's all right. And like Ross, I've been skipping to the other side. I've been, when Xbox hasn't been looking, I've been sneaking off with someone else. On this occasion, I think I'm joining approximately 5 billion other people in playing Tears of the Kingdom all at the same time. Very excited for this. Obviously, this is the sequel to Breath of the Wild on the Switch. Come out 6 years ago. I still have just Breath of the Wild was my favorite game of all time. After I played that year, and this so far, I'm only. Let's see. I started playing Friday night, and I'm probably around about 20 hours in already, which is not bad considering I've been doing other stuff with the kids and all that during the day. Although I've been playing quite a lot during the day as well when they've been busy. It's just tremendous. It's utterly tremendous. It takes everything that was great about Breath of the Wild, like the physics system, the open world, even some of the less enjoyable parts like the weapon degradation and all that sort of stuff. And it just goes, well, that was big and exciting and new and wonderful. But how about more of it, bigger, wider, higher, rounder, more interactive? It's just every step of the way. It's just been an utter joy so far. You can mark waypoints on the map. So instead of the shrines in this one, I forget exactly what they're called, but they're basically like this game's version of shrines, and you'll see them in the distance sort of glowing. And I'll go over to that one, and along the way, it might take you like 3 hours to get there, even though it's only like a 5-minute walk because there's look, a side quest here. What happens if I go in this cave? Look, there's a camp. Maybe I should clear it out. There's a chest. Wow, look what else I found. What's this? What's that? And it's just every time you turn around, there's something new to see, something interesting to play with, something more unexpected, and it's just I have no words of high enough praise. I don't know whether I'll prefer it to Breath of the Wild or not yet, because like I said, I'm only 20 hours and I put like 200 odd hours into that. But yeah, it's just absolutely excellent so far from start to finish. I'm part of a Discord chat for this newsletter of subscribers called Hit Points, and they're all talking in there, and we're all discussing the different aspects of where we are and what we found and what other people have done. And obviously, this part of this one's big appeal is the ability to create your own structures or vehicles or pretty much anything you can think about. The materials are given to you. So you've seen some in the trailer where they like build like a carriage with a horse and cart, or you build a platform with some rocket boosters and you can shoot up in the air. And some of the crazy contraptions people have built so far, like giant death robots and the guy with the massive flaming cock that exploded and sent the body flying everywhere. And it's just
deco nuts.
Even someone with general lack of imagination when it comes to building stuff in games like this, I've like the solutions to the puzzles. As long as you can get to the end of wherever you're trying to get to, it doesn't matter how you do it. So the way I've solved it probably isn't the way it was designed to be solved, or how you would solve it, or anyone else would solve it. It's like, will this work? Yes. Okay, that'll do then. You're more than happy to go for it. And anything you can think of to try in terms of, like I said, exploring or the shrines, the combat, anything. What happens if I stick this sword to this other sword and then throw it at that end? Oh, look, it killed them in one hit, and then they like something rolled down the hill and it exploded the barrel that blew the people. It's just non-stop, just genius, quite frankly. There's no other word for it. It's just brilliant from start to finish. Obviously I haven't finished yet, but from what I've played so far, every time I've put it down to go and do something, all I can think of is, right, I can get back to Breath of the Wild in a few minutes, Tears of the Kingdom in a few minutes, and get back to, or maybe I could just squeeze a few quick game in here and here. It's kind of made me want Xbox to actually go ahead and do like a proper handheld. I know you got like that what's it, Asus? No, ROG Ally, in it.
Have you seen the price of it though?
It's very expensive. But something like that, like where I could just pick up a game, play it for 20 minutes, put it on the TV, take it with me. The Switch, as underpowered as it is, it would be not much nicer. Obviously, it's a far more powerful machine, but it's just brilliant where I can just pick it up and play it in my hand while the kids are doing something on TV or whatever, or I'm up away from the main room, and then get back in, slot it in, carry on playing where I was. And when you've got a game as good as Tears of the Kingdom to do it with, it's one of those rare moments in gaming where you think, this is the fucking good shit. This is, especially after Xbox's like exclusive misfires recently, should we say, with things like
Dreadful.
Redfall and that. Tears of the Kingdom shows that there's very few people or very few companies, let's say, like Nintendo, that can get it just right from the off with no. I mean, it's been delayed a lot, but I'll sit here and waffle on for hours, and I'm not going to do that because we've got other things to do. But suffice to say, if it doesn't surpass Breath of the Wild, it's probably going to end up being my number 2 or 3 best of all time, because it's just brilliant from every aspect, no matter no matter how you like to play, whether you like stealth, action, whatever. It's just
no one likes stealth. Fucking
excellent. But yeah, anyway, that's enough Tears of the Kingdom, because we are supposedly an Xbox podcast and Xbox website. But yes, it's go play PlayStation and Switch while Xbox is not quite nailed it, and then come back for some fantastic games later in the year. Ross, do you want to tell me about another game you've been playing? We can't hear you.
Mute there.
That's a good point. I say I'll tie it in with some of Gray's knowledge, because as much as I've played it, I get very easily distracted in video games, especially when I'm playing it co-op. I've been playing some Dead Island 2, so picked that up, decided to play some co-op version of it. Again, like I say, easily distracted, see a big group of zombies in the opposite direction of where I'm meant to be heading for my objective, and be let's go kill these guys. That game's fucking mental. It's so over the top. It's like absolutely fantastic.
What character did you pick?
I picked the Latino. I can't remember her name. Shit.
No, I picked Ryan, the firefighter guy.
No, I can't remember her name.
But it sounds, because I went for the Irish lass, so yeah, we've all got different characters.
The my mate that I'm playing with, he picked the Irish lass as well, but I don't think he realised she was Irish at first. So I'm desperately trying to remember what that character's name is. He picked her, and then she started talking. Shit, I didn't realise she was Irish.
She doesn't shut up either. I don't know about the rest of the characters, but she does not shut the fuck up.
They're all like it.
I think that's like the same. Like, you just constantly get an ongoing sort of talking. Carla, that's who it is. Carla's the person I picked. I was like, I didn't want to go the traditional. I didn't want to go the main guy who you see in the trailer, the English guy. The other one sounded too much like a glass cannon. Like, she was really good. There was one that's like really good at dealing long range damage. She's a Paralympian. Can't remember her name though. But she couldn't take a hit, but she can dish out like really good damage for a distance. Yeah. I was like, that's not my type of gameplay. I need to be standing in the middle, fucking guys front, left, back, and centre. Like, who's coming for me?
Yeah.
But
especially when you don't get ranged weapons for a while as well.
Exactly. I'm currently trying to use like poles just to like launch them before I run into battle. That's as far as I've got for ranged weapons. Just like some of the things in regards to like how you can booby trap, or not so much booby trap, but like how you can lure them into like the water and then like launch a battery into the ground with a puddle. So like, you've got like 30 guys standing in this puddle, all zapping the living daylights at each other.
Or fire, AJ.
Fire's brilliant as well, yeah.
Yeah, Jay realised he could set it off by kicking the bloody thing and started doing it all the time.
Yeah, I didn't know you could do it with kicking it. Like, I had a feeling like if it was on the ground and you had like a sword and you struck the ground, it might like spark. So I've noticed you could do that. I didn't realise you could literally just go kick.
Oh, nor did I until Jay showed me his clip of him doing it.
I kicked the barrel and it just exploded in my face. Run
away. So it's easy going. There's no like, you don't have to expel much brain power to try and actually play it. You can just turn it on, run through a horde of zombies, play 5 or 6 like missions, and then that's you. You've had like some good laughs. You've got a bit of gaming done, and you couldn't really actually tell anything or note of what you've done, but it was a good laugh when you done it. So that's the main thing.
And that's the key. As long as you had fun along the way, That's the real fun is the friends you made along the way.
Booyah!
Yes, very nice, very nice. So, yes, are you playing on Xbox or are you on the PlayStations? Oh, right, we'll move on from that anyway. Graham, you got anything else you want to talk about? Did you get your FIFA character? Your whatever it is card?
I did. There was a bit of a mishap because I used my alias email address for when I sent it to them to sort of offer it to me, but because the email address I used for my EA account was something I set up years ago, back when I was at school, I have a bit more of a sensible email address now that I use that's attached to the same account, and obviously you have to use the one that's exactly attached to the EA account. So I have to update that and get them to send it to the right one. But yes, my Super Haaland came through, and
Haaland.
my wife gets annoyed when I keep singing that song as well. Started doing it when I played the game and scored as him as well. He's already scored a bicycle. He's already done a rainbow flick over a goalie to sort of flick it in.
You think that's bad? You try having a drunken Dan sing it while he's fucking trying to play FIFA.
Yeah, but he is a super card. That's, I mean, just almost like 99 acceleration, pace, and dribbling. So he's just lightning us with like 99 strength as well. He's just like a running juggernaut. But yeah, weirdly, he still doesn't score as often as my Kane does, but he definitely gets in and around and out muscles players. So it's fun to play with him anyway. But it's suddenly becoming dwarfed with the other league team of the season things coming through, which it's the only other game I played. So I entered in the Champions tournament thing that happens at the weekends.
I bet that was fun.
It was a bit mixed, but yeah, I think I got all the way to rank 4. I think it was. I think I got about 58 points out of 80. So,
did you see they were giving away they were giving out loan R9s, prime R9s? I was like, who thought that was a good idea?
Yeah, I know, but when people see them, they annoy them. They just quit out straight away, and you lose one of your loan contracts. They don't get the win, and they lose a loan contract. And
I suppose
doing it to them.
But it's just when I seen it, I was like, "Oh, that's weekend league's only going to have R9s playing up front now."
Yeah, but if I see him or Mbappe, I'm not worried because they're not that high physical anymore, and they just get barged off the ball,
bullied.
Yeah, so not too worried about those ones anymore.
Just Haaland.
Yeah, just him because he's a super beast. But yeah, no, my super back 3 middle now is quite tight. It's a Saliba, Lucio, and
is that the hero Lucio?
Yeah, not the Titans one, but the hero one.
Yeah,
the 90 rated one, and just the 3 just beasts. So yeah, keep a tight ship. But yeah, those are the 2 main things I've been playing this week.
You'll have plenty of new people to smack about on the 16th when it enters Game Pass, won't you? Loads of new players to come in, and you'll be like, "Oh, come play with me. I'll take it easy on you." Super, whatever his name was, Haaland or whatever, smacking about. Put them in their place.
Well, you can only try. But...
yeah, might play some tonight just to bolster the squad a wee bit ready for the 16th, and then just hammer weekend league and champions. Just go for it. Just be like,
I find it good because you kind of get a sense of check of where you are, because you play against some Supreme ones and you play against some CAC ones, and I think I only got really turned over in one game. There was a couple of close losses, but no one really sort of handed me my ass, which usually happens in the Champions bit. They only kind of got away from me in one game. I think I lost 6-3 in the end, and that's the worst it got. So yeah, I think I still hold my own in there anyway.
Fair enough. And so obviously it's changing to EA Sports FC or whatever it is this year.
Yeah,
all of these cards and shit you're getting now, I assume, are going to be worth nothing when it comes to the player
every year. Once it gets towards sort of June, July, August, there's sort of special cards in sort of every pack, and everyone's got super juice teams. So this, you probably got the last month probably before it starts going mental. So once the season's over, that's when it generally starts going haywire, and everyone's got super juiced cards. But so yeah, about a month's worth of it left before it goes crazy.
Fair enough. Well, we'll make the most of it. Smack them about, get some wins, and then I assume we'll get more information on CA Sports FC in what, a month's time? Is it in June 11th or so? Was it?
I think they said
Oh,
something
no,
like
the
that.
Xbox One, isn't it? So, yeah. But yeah, so we'll see some more. See what the next round of football action is going to be. I played a football game actually. Download demo on the Switch. Fucking dreadful it was. It kind of played a bit like
Do it.
What was that one on the Mega Drive? The World
Cup Italia 90.
World Cup Italia. Yeah, it kind of played like that, but worse somehow. So yeah, I only played like not even a half, and I was like, "Why am I doing this? I should be playing Tears of the Kingdom." I said I'm playing a shitty football game. And speaking of not massively enjoyable video games, I've been playing a bit more Benedict Fox. I had hoped to get my review up before Tears of the Kingdom will come out, but I ran into a slight issue. I got to a certain part of the story, or the quest, I should say, and I picked up an item, and it kicked off this whole like chase sequence. And the chase sequences in Benedict Fox are shit, quite frankly. They're just needlessly difficult, and it's kind of like the you play Rayman Origins and stuff. We have like the chase bits where you got to jump and get the sort of exact timing of jumping nonsense. Anyway, bye. Don't enjoy them. I was doing one. I failed it. I had to stop and go pick the kids up from their after school activities. So I've turned my Xbox off, turned it back on, and I was back in the room with the item that I had to pick up, except the item wasn't there, and the quest was still saying I need to find it. So I did a bit of like reloading and bouncing around, trying to quick travel, see if I could kick anything off. About 2 hours of attempting to find something. No idea. I'm stuck. I can't get any further. I can't kick the chase sequence back off. I can't find the item. I've been speaking to the developers to try and help see if they got any solution, because they said they've had a few bugs reported similar, but not that exact one.
Like that.
But yeah, so far no dice, no resolution, which is annoying because like I said last week, I'm not really enjoying it all that much, but I had hoped to finish it this week because I'm where I am now. I don't think I'm too far from the end, and I certainly don't want to be playing it all again to get back to this point, because it's a Metroidvania. I can't remember if I spoke about that last week or not, but it's like almost like you were saying, Grade, like with that Demon Skin, like it's just hard at the wrong points. Like the platform is not very good, and half the time we would be trying to jump one and there'd be enemies flying around there, smack you back down, and you fall back down, you climb back up again. And this, even though you got the quest icons, like I said, the thing I was looking for, it doesn't tell you. It's fine not telling you where to go, because obviously that's the whole point of a Metroidvania, you explore the map, but it doesn't even give you a hint as to like it might be in this sort of area somewhere. You just like you start at the top and it's somewhere below you in one of these three maps. Excellent. I'll go and have a look. And there's other just little bits and pieces, like there's loads of different sorts of puzzles you can solve. Some with like, again, I can't remember if I spoke about this last week, but some with that just require a key, some that require certain items to solve, like open doors or open chests and stuff like that. But it doesn't tell you if you don't have the items you need. So I was sitting there for ages trying to figure out how to open this fucking door, and I ended up you can turn the difficulty down for the puzzles, for the action, for the different aspects of it. So I turned the difficulty for the puzzles right down, just because then it gives you the option to auto solve them. So I pressed the auto save button. They said, "You don't have the required items to do this." I was like, "Well, why didn't you not tell me that before?" Because I've been sitting there for ages trying to figure the fucking thing out, and I had no idea. I didn't even have the stuff I needed. It just presented it to me. I was like, "Here's a puzzle. Go for it." And yeah, there was loads of instances like that. There's other doors where you needed a very specific item, which is fine. Again, not a problem. But it didn't tell you that you needed any. It didn't say you don't have the item for this yet. It said every time you try and do it without the item, it just sends you flying across the fucking room because they like bash you back. And yeah. The bug aside, I'm not so bothered about the bug, because it's 1 in a million basically by the sounds of it that I hit this bug. But the general gist of the gameplay and the concept of it, I'm not enjoying anywhere near as much as I hoped. So review will be up this week, hopefully, whether or not I get past this bugged out bit or not. But yeah, it's not going to be the greatest review in the world, I won't imagine, because bit of a disappointment, really. Anyway, gentlemen, I think that's about all we've been playing, unless you want to talk about Tears of the Kingdom for another 2 hours. But that's what I'm playing. Oh, we should talk about Project Game Pass. I don't suppose anybody's played our Project Game Pass game, which is Redfall. Speaking of disappointments,
I did have a little dabble about half an hour earlier just to sort of see what it's like on my own, and it was a smidgen bit difficult. So not as in I didn't die, but I mean as in like when I was playing with you, I was sort of one hit killing all the cultists all over the place. They were taking a few more bullets. It actually put up a bit more of a challenge, but not too much. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I mean there wasn't any.
Did you carry on with your character you've been playing as you start?
Yeah, I did. So I had all my guns and everything to start off with, which kind of helped.
Yeah,
but yeah, not struggling just yet. And I was just about to clear out the firehouse, so literally just early on in there, just to sort of try it out.
Okay.
But
no, I haven't gone back to it yet, but we definitely need to play it for Project Game Pass. If you're not familiar with Project Game Pass, where we pick a game from Game Pass every month, we play it either together or separately, depending on what game it is. We discuss it, and then we move on to the next game the next month. Ross, have you played any more yet, or have you been too busy on the other side?
I've been saving myself for exploring it with you, Jay.
It's very exciting. So this week, I think we're gonna have to do it. We're gonna have to bite the bullet. I'll special guest Pete in because Ian's away on 5,000 holidays, or even Dan. I know Dan's played a little bit of it. So yeah, we need to get in and play it together and see what it's like. I should drag you forward into my game because I'm sure shit not started all over again, and we'll get you buffed up and leveled up in no time.
Oh yeah.
You're doing that, Grave Seed, Jay. You're doing it again.
Absolutely not. Right, we'll play some of that. Yeah, so Project Game Pass Redfall this month, and we shall discuss what we will pick next month in a week or so's time. Anyway, gentlemen, we played some games, some good, some not so good. But what is always good, and what is always my favourite part of the gaming week, is when Ross readies himself to give us a good hard plug-in for your amusement.
So, patreon.com/Xbox Tavern. If you want to come and support us with your hard-earned cash, it would be greatly appreciated. You can help the show. You can help the show keep running. Pete, that is a terrible thing to say.
Special guest Pete is refusing to play Redfall with us. Special guest Pete, you're going to play whether you like it or not. Damn it.
Apple and Spotify podcasts. If you jump over there, rate us 5-star, leave a wee comment underneath. Written reviews can be found at xboxtavern.com. Jay will have a list of the reviews that are went up on the site. We'll have, not specifically this week, but we normally have games, hardware, different things that we put up on the page. Socials run all on the bottom of the screen, so you can see them there for your Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Post up there frequently. You'll find loads of different things up there. Discord, come jump over, try and guess stupid games that isn't even a game. The fact that it's called mod should tell you the fact it's not a fucking game. Not that I was fucking bitter the fact that I couldn't work it out, but irrelevant. Come over, jump in. We've got a Game Pass section as well, so if you want to drop any thoughts that you have on our Project Game Pass for the month, jump into that channel. Let's hear what you think, whether it be about Redfall, whether you've got suggestions for games coming up that we know are going into the Game Pass and you think that they'd be good as a talking point on the show. It's always good to get some feedback from the community. And last but by no means least, we have Insert Coin, who have got promo code Xbox Tavern 23 that can be used for all orders over £50 to get £5 off.
Happy days. Thank you very much, Ross, for such a wonderful plug-in yet again. I very much appreciate it. An expert at giving a good old pluggles. Right, Graham.
Speaking about being plugged,
I was going to say, you beat me to it.
How are we getting plugged on a jetpack?
So if you're here because you saw the headline this week that Ross has very delicately put on the YouTube video and the podcast video, audio version, etc. Starfield, according to Pure Xbox here, says sounds saucy if new ESRB description is to be believed. Warning: may contain jetpack sex. I mean, you don't need to warn me. Just bring it on. So I'll just read what they've got here. It says over the weekend, they spotted that Starfield's Twitter page was updated with a brand new ESRB rating, which is the Entertainment and Software Ratings Board, I believe, in the UK at least, and Sorry, no, that's the American one. Sorry, ahead of the game's September 2023 launch. It was, as we expected, the game is rated M for mature, and the official description has revealed some juicy details about the rating.
Juicy.
So from the actual ESRB thing, it says these are some of the dialogue quotes that they've provided as evidence for why they've given it mature. The first one is, life is a sexually transmitted disease that's 100% fatal.
I mean, see, just on that part, they make it sound like this is a really strong, thought-provoking game. I mean, you could almost have like Machiavelli at the back of that, like life is a sexually transmitted disease that's 100% fatal. Like it's deep thought-provoking, and the point of life is you'll die, and then
it would definitely say it sounds like a sticky you'd have on a guitar, like some punk rock band. And then we get on to, I'm all for getting a little wild. But next time, let's try it without the jetpacks. Maybe I should have auditioned for Starfield. I need a... And then the final one they've listed here is talk about seeing stars. Whew, that was amazing. So, I mean, there's a lot of space-based
space humping.
Space humping there. I suspect the old gamer poop might get quite a lot out of this game.
Yeah, I was about to say he's licking his lips on these. He's stealing all his words. He's barely going to have anything to sort of double go on top of it.
Double nice. But yes, so it sounds like it's going to be a bit of sexy action. Ross, you'll know more than me because you're a Fallout guy. I know Graham.
I really hope you want to go see you're more well versed in Jetpack 6, because I was a bit too up the creek with that apparel there.
A spacefaring exhibitionist.
You're into your space.
I don't remember anything in Skyrim or Oblivion. Granted, again, I haven't played Fallout so much, where it went into anything along these lines. Is there anything like Fallout 4? Did they have any wasteland related sex puns or anything?
No, not really. Oh no! I'm talking absolute shit. Yes, they did. So in Fallout New Vegas, there was a sex robot called Fisto.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
And you could also sleep with a sex worker ghoul in Fallout as well. So they did have things like that in it. I'm desperately trying to think if there was any in Skyrim and Oblivion, but none that jump out to me as much as Fisto and the sex working ghoul.
Yeah. But it was all implied stuff. I imagine it's the same sort of thing.
Yeah, but Fisto wasn't really implied. Fisto was you know the big red robot at Atomic Heart.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was the follow up to Fisto. Fisto was basically like, yeah, I'll do whatever you want me to do to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you just imagine though if they did show it and all you get is that face?
I mean, that actually might be the face. She just came off the jetpack.
It's just that close up pan of the face. You don't see anything else. The face. Oh yes. Treat me like a no. Whoa, no. Let's move on.
I think they're just beating the rush, aren't they? I mean, with a game that kind of
beating the what? Rush.
Yeah.
Rush.
The rush, yeah.
With a game that kind of vast, it's only a matter of time before someone tried to put some sort of sexual elements into a game like that.
That's what they said. They were like, "This is actually brilliant by Bethesda because within a month on PC at least or two, you're going to have the mod community, which are going to basically put this in the game anyway."
Yeah.
So just give the people what they want and put it in for the start.
Yeah. It won't take. What's it in Skyrim where everybody's naked,
exactly,
around with massive tits? Yeah,
exactly. Some of the stuff you could do in Skyrim and Fallout, it's just like, I mean, like round of applause for creativity, but was it needed? Really? Was it?
I mean, it depends who you ask, I suppose. But
exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, it sounds like. I mean, I really should look this up. I don't know if was Fallout and stuff mature rated. I guess it must be with the amount of
I think so
explosions,
dismemberment and things like that.
Yeah. So it's not. But obviously, this is like the next gen Xbox Series X and S version where it's gonna be super high. I mean, look at it. This lady's lovely face here. She looks pretty good compared to what was it, Fallout 4 and 76 and that. So maybe we'll get another. What did Fox News getting all angry about Mass Erect when they were talking about the sex scenes in that? Oh, have the frothing at the mouth. Oh my God, the heaven SpaceX of aliens.
Just because we're on the subject of Starfield, we're not going to talk about it anymore until we have a bit more for it there. Did you see the outrage about the fact that it's got microtransactions in it?
It has what? Outrageous. Turn it off.
Has anybody played a Bethesda game recently?
Has anybody played Starfield? Craft? Whichever one it is.
StarCraft, yes. But it's the Creation Club. So, like, it's not anything that changes the game. You buy outfits, you can buy weapons, which fair dues, but they're all balanced to the game. They're not like game breaking stuff that you like level up to the max level or stuff like that. It's all stuff that's the community's made to put in the game, or it's people who Bethesda have got from the community, modders, to make these things to put in the game. And instead of hiding it just behind the mods, they've put it in the Creation Club. But people automatically seen that there's in-game transactions. Fuck it. Microsoft, more money off us, bastards.
Well, I mean, I suppose technically that would probably cover things like DLC. So I'm sure they're going to add new planets or new storylines or quest lines and stuff like they always do. So that would cover that as well. So, I mean, everybody's getting angry about stuff already, and it's not even out for another 6 months supposedly until it gets delayed again. But we have got the showcase in 3 weeks, just over 3 weeks now, June 11th.
3 weeks, yeah.
So yes, we'll find out more information there, and hopefully they reveal all of the DLC cocks that we can buy, and bra and panty outfits and whatever else we can ride.
Did you say you have a stag do on the 10th? Or
we get back on the 11th. Stag do.
Yep, it's the stag do the 10th.
Same weekend. Well, it's the 8th, 9th, 10th, and 11th. Yeah.
He's currently on holiday.
Who planned a stag on the day of the Champions League final?
Again, he's not here to defend himself.
What maniac decided that was a good idea?
I'm quite happy with that, as long as we're not anywhere near the fucking bar. Yeah, not anywhere near no bar, and
you're just telling Jay what he's going to be doing that night.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to drive home that night now. Anyway, yes, so we will talk about that when the time comes. And Starfield, StarCraft, Star Wars, Star Trek, whichever one it is, we'll play that in September sometime. In what's it, the 6th of September? I wonder what else is happening that day. Something very exciting, no doubt. Anyway,
my annual leave starts.
It's Jay's 50th.
Fucking fit. I'll tell you what, after this weekend, I don't feel far off. Anyway, let's move on to more exciting stories, shall we? EU is expected to approve the Xbox Activision Blizzard deal next week. Expected, not guaranteed. Expected. The CMA were expected to, and they said, fuck you, guy. Uno reverse card and all that bullshit. So let me just get this thing up here again from Pure Xbox. They say, according to sources at Reuters, is it Reuters or Reuters?
Reuters.
Is it Reuters?
I think it's Reuters.
Reuters.
Router's the thing that you get your internet from.
Yeah. The internet? What's that?
The Tinterweb.
Sorry, my common way of reading come out there. According to Reuters, said they heard information to get people familiar with the matter that May 15th date that they've said in this leak, in this sort of information might not be right, but apparently that's the earliest they've got. But apparently the deadline is the 22nd of May. So either way, it'll either be tomorrow or the week after. We'll find out whether they're going to approve it. And you were saying, Ross, I sort of overheard you briefly, something about our wonderful Prime Minister talking about to the CMA or something?
Yeah, so obviously Microsoft are going to try and appeal it in the UK markets for the CMA. And apparently Rishi Sunak wants to have a conversation with the CMA to basically tell them to stand down. By the sounds of it, it'll be more convoluted than that. But I think
I don't think it will be.
I think with everything that's getting said with things like Activision, basically saying like this is going to make the UK like untenable for businesses to come and try and work with if the CMA are going to like limit these sort of deals. So from I think all the fear mongering that's came from different parties like that, Sunak's going to have a word with the CMA to basically say if this comes up in as an appeal, one, either find a more valid argument, or two, fucking shut up and just let it happen. Especially as you say, if the EU go through now, as much as we are sort of separate entities and stuff like that, and there's already been quite a lot of places in I know like South America have had a few, like Brazil and that have passed it. So if they're all going it, and then we sit there as no, it doesn't look particularly good for the UK, but business side of things, as in people are not going to want to do business based in the UK if they've got such a difficult time trying to get started in them. So based on the EU's decision, it could swing the pendulum back in Microsoft's favour to get this Activision Blizzard deal over the line.
Yeah, and if there's one thing that old Sunak and the rest of his chums would want to know is, what? We're going to miss out on money.
We're going to miss out on money. Whoa, wait a minute.
You must fix this immediately. You must fix
Exactly.
this. Yeah, I mean, we don't need to get into politics on this Xbox Tavern podcast.
This might be the one good thing it does for the UK.
Just remember, hashtag be nice, you cunts, unless it's them, then just tell them they're fucking cunts. Anyway, gentlemen, we'll see whether the deal goes through in Europe. We probably will. And then, like you said, we've had it approved in South America, Saudi Arabia, I think some other parts of Europe, not Europe, so Asia and stuff like that. So, yeah, it's just America and the UK holding out at the minute, but maybe with a bit of pressure and a few greased palms, it might end up going through, and we can stop fucking bringing it up every week. And then we can get other games on Game Pass, maybe some Call of Duties or something, or, maybe they can, what did they deny on cloud gaming? And Microsoft can unleash the cloud gaming destroy everyone else button that everyone's so worried about. And then we'll
fucking NVIDIA are sitting here like, guys, this fucks us over more than it fucks anybody else over. NVIDIA were getting all excited and they're like, fuck, so we don't get Call of Duty. That's a bit shit.
And then I'll have another reason to pick up my Switch after I've finished the Tears of the Kingdom. I can play Call of Duty on that instead.
Exactly.
Yeah. Anyway, right. That's enough Activision Blizzard nonsense because it's still nonsense. Let's round off with
just before you finish off there, Jay.
Go on. Easy.
How much are we going to be fucked if they do approve this deal and we've got Starfield and StarCraft both in Game Pass? It's fucking. It'll be fucked. Nobody's going to know what we're talking about. Not a fucking clue what we're talking about because they're both set in space. They're both about killing aliens. They're both about going to different planets.
Yeah, I think what we'll have to do is that we'll have to get like a voice clip
like Hades.
Yeah, every time I feel like I'm fucking up Hades.
We'll have to get a little voice clip here, and every time we want to say it, rather than just say the word, I'll just click play and it just play it for us.
Yeah,
and then we'll know what we're doing then. It's gonna be interesting. Although I was listening to a podcast, I forget which one this week, and they did exactly the same thing. Like some proper professionals, I should say. Not that we're not professional, of course, but proper large industry podcasts, and they kept saying Starfall. They were saying, not StarCraft, and I was like,
at least makes this a game.
It's like, they did it like 5 or 6 times in a row. Anyway, it's not just us; it is everybody. It's hard to get our thing, especially when you're as old as I am. Anyway, let's round off on a happy news note, shall we, gentlemen? And the latest Mortal Kombat teaser has dropped heavy hints that it could indeed be a reboot. So I don't know if have you got the teaser there you can play, Ross, while we talk about it?
Keep talking and I can get it up for you.
So, pardon? Cool. So, I'll get the jetpacks. It was quite a nifty little teaser there. Gray, I don't know if you saw this or not, but they tweeted out like combat is coming or something. I forget the exact words. You'll find it in a second for us. And they had a clock and it was sort of ticking round. It was going 8, 9, 10, it got to 11. And then the hand sort of wobbled a bit, and because everybody's expecting Mortal Kombat 12 to be next, skipped over the 12 and went to number 1, and then it sort of cut off from there. And since then, there's been some leaks regarding. Here's the trailer now. You can see the second hand ticking up to the time. Excuse me, on the clock. And when it gets to 11, it sort of gives it a little bit of straight over to number 1, skips over number 12. And like I was just saying, there's been some rumors come out in the last couple of days that it is indeed a reboot. They're going to call it Mortal Kombat 1, and it will be revealed very soon for release this year. But they're basically going back to the roots, as most things do after nearly 30 years of being created. So, Graham, I'm going to go to you first because obviously you didn't. I just want to hear your voice. Really, thoughts and opinions on that reboot in Mortal Kombat. Did you enjoy the last few storylines? Have you played them? I can't remember.
I didn't play the last one. I did do 10 because Pete lent me 10. That was all right. Hard as balls on some of the boss fights, but I mean, what Mortal Kombat isn't? That doesn't have hard as balls boss fights. But I mean, I suppose they sort of find it hard and harder the ways to sort of ramp up the kind of the gruesomeness, the goriness, the sort of X-ray views of them having their nuts busted or their head broken and stuff, and then the fight carries on as normal anyway, and the fatalities sort of proper sort of. I mean, there's always inspiration, I suppose, to find gruesome ways of killing people, but they can't keep throwing more characters into it, and they can't just keep sort of overloading sort of the thinking mill on sort of fatalities and how the ways to make it more gruesome. So yeah, revisiting, going back to the start means you can probably condense the character list down. You can sort of redefine the story, I suppose, or give it a bit more detail about it. Yeah, and maybe put some sort of different spin on it. Hopefully not like a super fast tag spin. I mean, that's the way a lot of these kind of games seem to sort of try and put some innovation in by having some sort of tag play, sort of mixing it up with 2 or 3. But I don't know. I mean, you kind of need more. Going back to the roots is fine, but with what innovation? What are you throwing into the mix that's going to make it different or worthwhile to sort of get people's interest?
Yeah, I think for me, before you jump in, Roscoe, I see you're itching.
Chomping at the bit.
I think. Thank you. I think my only concern with them rebooting is they've obviously introduced, like you said, Chris, so many characters. Are they going to bring it right down to the original? Was it 8 or 9 or whatever it was, and then maybe have 1 or 2 from the sequels in early, or are we literally just going to have 9 characters? Because I'm not. I mean, that's probably a good thing, really, because it's less to learn or less to worry about getting decimated by. But compared to things like the new Street Fighter coming out and Tekken and stuff like that, if you're going back to just 9 characters, I think I can see people being like, "Where's the rest of them? I want more fighters, more of them. Where's all my moves?" But Ross, jump in, please.
Just the flip side of that there. Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, Sonya Blade, Raiden, Shao Kahn, Shang Tsung, Scorpion, Sub-Zero. Boom. Leave it at that. Keep it simple.
You're already cut out there, Dan. There was no Shao Kahn in the first one.
But no, I'm putting Shao Kahn in, as in, think of big Mortal Kombat people, put them in. Jax, there we go. Nightwolf if you want to.
Kano.
Kano was in the first one.
That sort of idea. Like, people, like, if you were like, when we do the quiz, names Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat characters, there's the people that, like, right off the top of the list. Same with like Tekken, Yoshimitsu, Jin Kazuma, things like that. People who are iconic in the franchise. Bring everything for the first game, upspuff it in the newest Unreal 5, however they want to do it. Put the same arenas in if they want to, but in Unreal 5. Make it 3D in regards to you're not just side-to-side fighting, you can turn around and things like that. Don't go, I can't remember, Deadly Alliance to introduce weapons and different stances and that. You don't have to overcomplicate it. Do it like that. Put what was the one after? It was Annihilation or X, the one that I can't remember how it ends, but it's basically the end of the trailer is they're standing on top of a pyramid and there's like hordes of fucking enemies trying to fight them and they're all fighting them off. The storyline in that game was outstanding. Same with Deadly Alliance. Have a great story, have the characters that everybody loves and appreciates, have it in beautiful new sort of technology. And what's the analogy? Kiss. Keep it simple, stupid. That's all you need to worry about. It's a fighting game. It doesn't need to be. It doesn't need to be overly complicated. It doesn't need to have 600 new features. It just has to be a great fighting game experience and the best fighting game experience. Nobody said that the latest Street Fighter is better than Street Fighter 2 because Street Fighter 2 is ultimate. Tekken 3, Tekken 4 are some of the best games ever made in regards to the fighting genre. None of the most recent ones are. Same with the Mortal Kombat games. Keep it simple. Give people what they want in regards to characters they know. Nobody cares what I was about to say. Nobody cares about Dan. Sorry, but the character and like nobody cares about him. Nobody cares about having fucking Rambo rocking up for a $15.99 DLC. They care about they care about Scorpion v Sub-Zero. They want to see Raiden face Shang Tsung or fucking Liu Kang v Shao Kahn. Or fucking Goro, if you want to go something like that. They want to see the characters that they can automatically associate it with, not just, oh, this is a character they added in 8 years after the original who has a very small part to play in regards to the grand storyline of Mortal Kombat, but that's it.
And this is Old Man Chang song. This wasn't the new. Are they going to
Oh,
bring that?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Old Man
So,
Flaky Chang song.
Your soul is mine. That's what we want.
Yes, I very much would like to see, like you said, back to basics. Keep the roster down. Although there's already been more leaks, which I was just trying to find where you were talking. They've already announced they might include characters from like The Boys and Homeland. Homeland.
Oh, yeah, Homelander's meant to be in it. Peacemaker from
Peacemaker.
DC's coming, and Homelander's meant to be in it as well.
So
there's your characters.
It's already gone from me. It's already not back to basics.
I love The Boys, as in the TV series. It's fucking fantastic. It's hilarious. I don't want to see Homelander in Mortal Kombat. Forgive me, I just don't. Put him in Injustice. Put him in the new Injustice game.
Exactly, yeah. Keep it simple. Hi, Ian. I hope you're enjoying your liter of beer.
Was it good beer or was it shit beer? Because if you're drinking a litre of shit beer, then that's poor.
Yeah, you got to give us the details.
We need to know what type of beer it is.
In terms of Mortal Kombat, keep it simple. Like I said, Greg, take it back. Keep the core cast. Maybe add a few extras in. I want to see more. I want to see Reptile, for example. I want to see Rain, perhaps Smoke. But we don't need to get into like the weeds of, like you said, like Nightwolf and Cyrax and Sector and all this sort of stuff.
No,
give us a really good one. Yeah, give us a really good storyline because, like you said, Greg, the storyline 10 was great. I haven't played 11 yet, but I think Special Guest Peters was singing its praise. I don't know if you played it, Ross. Have you?
Yeah, I've not played one. I've not played anything since 10.
Yeah, so because 11 is in Game Pass, when I sort of installed it a couple of times, and then I've had to uninstall it to play other stuff. But I would like to play through the storyline at least before it leaves Game Pass because it was entertaining, if not fucking challenging, like you said, Gray. But we'll see. Yeah. Like I said, there's no official announcement of dates or anything yet, but the reveal, I think, was rumored to be coming in the next month or so. So around sort of when E3 would have been. So we should see some more information soon. Ian, if you're not listening on podcast as well, Ian said it was damn good beer, but he's refused to name it at the moment. So
come on.
If they want to bring it back to one, they should bring all the cheesing that happened in one. With like the sweep kicks, this constant
sweep kicks, yeah, just trap somebody in a corner and low kick.
Or that Raiden screen as he dives forward and just spams into you.
But they could even have like wee cool features like that. So you imagine it's like it's in this beautiful, like spectacular new Unreal 5, right? And then you hit a fatality, and like the game then like transforms into the old fashion style. So you know how like in the Master Chief Collection you could hit a button and it jumps between the two styles. So even if it like changed into that, and then if it was to do like the X-ray bit, so it goes to the 2D type idea to show the old school, and then as it goes to do the X-ray, it goes back into the 3D. Just like nostalgia kicks like that. If you're rebooting a franchise,
could have a nostalgia.
Yeah, what was it? Bestiality, Fatality, Bibality. What was the other ones?
Friendship.
Yeah, there was one that the one where you could just like that was it.
Give him a little dole of Sub-Zero and
Hurry, Kiri.
Yeah, so we'll see. We'll get some more information soon. I'm sure we can discuss more as and when they reveal it. And hopefully we get to play it at some point this year because the new Street Fighter is out in a couple of weeks, isn't it? So it might have some stiff competition, I should say.
I do like the art style in the new. Oh, it's not a bad beer to be fair. No, I'll give them that one.
Sagres. We're not going to be officially endorsing Sagres on this podcast. We'll allow it. We're going to be endorsing it.
It could be much. It could be much worse. To be fair,
no, it could be much worse.
I mean, it could have turned into something like Heineken.
Or better, alcohol. Anyway, right, gentlemen. I think that'll do us for the news this week. We've also got 60 frames per second mode for PS5 and Xbox Series X on Plague Tale Requiem. So you haven't played it already, go and play it right now because it's a fucking tremendous game.
What's that? A really good game that didn't have 60 frames per second. It was only in 30. Oh!
And do you know what? When it was in 30, it played very well indeed.
No.
So if you really must have the higher frames, then go check it out.
But it's a next-gen game. That can't be right.
I know, and it looked like it as well. It was tremendous.
No. You're talking blasphemy there, Jay.
The problem was it was actually a good game rather than Red Bull shit in the bed. Like
just
it could have been played at fucking 1,000 frames a second. It wouldn't have made it any better of a game. Anyway, so yeah, go check that one out. Right, gentlemen, I'm going to give you some quick reviews we got up on the website right now, and then we'll get into the rounding off of the show. So I did review a bit of hardware this week. Very exciting.
I did.
Indeed.
This is why I dropped that a little bit in for the plug.
So I reviewed the Power A Fusion Pro 3 controller, and I gave it a 9.7, which, as you can imagine, is rather high. The only negative knockoff on the points there was it's a wired controller, so whether you'd like that or not, it's up to you. Personally, I don't mind it, but I know a lot of people prefer to keep it wireless these days.
I must admit, I was pleasantly surprised. So I've got my Power A one lovely displayed on my board here. I got obviously a Tiny Tina one, and I was shocked at how good these were. If you're not wanting to buy an Elite, I can't see why you wouldn't buy one of these instead of buying an Xbox controller.
Yeah,
it's a
kick
fantastic
in the pissing cable.
Yeah, exactly. The cable. I mean, my kids definitely caught it a few times. The cat's caught it a few times, and even I did, to be honest. You get quite a long cable with it, but the way I've got my Xbox is quite high. And there was a couple of times where I put it down when I got a drink, come back, forgot it was there, sort of caught it with my foot, nearly sent the Xbox flying across the room.
Well, they have that little adapter bit right by the USB port that they keep knocking that pissing thing out. So connection.
I mean, that like you say, that is the only thing. The fact that it's wireless is a bit of kick in the nuts. That it's wired is a bit of kick in the nuts. But as the actual controller part of it, I was blown away by how much I loved mine, and that's why I was wanting you sort of bring up the fact of this one.
Yeah, so this one, it's as far as I'm concerned. I've been very fortunate to check out quite a few different wired and wireless controllers and stuff over the years, and it's not my favorite one because I didn't give it a 10. I think I gave the Turtle Beach one a 10, which was fucking excellent. But this is right up there, obviously. It feels great. The buttons are great. It's got the 4 buttons on the back. So whereas the Elite's obviously got the flappy paddles you can take off, this has just got built-in buttons which are really nicely placed, easy to customize on the fly.
Are they
you can
the
change the
ones?
They are indeed programmable ones. So you can. There's a button on the back, which is at the top of. Yeah, so at the top, you hold that down and then press the button to assign whatever button you want.
Do you know you can do multiple buttons at the same time, so you can press 2 buttons at the same time? You can.
Now, did you not say something about this that you thought that was really inventive, Gray, because you wished they did something like that on the Elite? Because were you not? Was it, we were talking about FIFA, weren't we, or something when you have to hold LB and RB to do a low-driven shot or something?
No, the power shot. LB and B to do the power shot.
If you could link it so it did all of them, so that you only had to hold the one.
You can.
Yeah, which is something the Elite doesn't.
No.
It's brilliant. That's what I'm saying. The Power A controllers are. I fell in love with this one because it was Tiny Tina, and obviously being a massive Borderlands fan. But the more I used it, I was like, shit, if I didn't have an Elite, I wouldn't be pissed off at using this as a daily driver.
I do have an Elite. I have 2, in fact, and I went back to my Elite while I'd sort of finished writing the review, and I was like, do you know what? I put that back. I got the Power A back out and started playing with that again. I think it's fucking tremendous.
The only thing that it lacks that I love on the Elite is the weight. I like the weight of the Elite. It feels like a substantial controller in your hands.
Yeah.
Not that this isn't cheap and plastic. It's not that it's shaming it. It's even compared to I've not tried the new PS5 Elite controller, but even the new DualSense PS5 controller, it's not a heavy controller. It doesn't feel like it's anything special in regards to that, but the Elites feel properly robust just because of the weight of them, and I just enjoy that feeling. Features wise, because obviously it's got the buttons on the back of this one as well, you're not missing out a lot by going to the Power A. Just personal preference of the weight. That's it. But if somebody says to me, do you want to buy, would you go out and buy an Elite, or would you go out and buy this one Jay's going? I would struggle to say that there was much that the Power A didn't do that the Elite did. And really, you're looking at the weight, and it's wireless. That's really it.
Yeah, and there's one
a hell of a lot cheaper.
The Pro 3, it was $80. Well, £80 roughly, and it comes with its own little carry case like the Elite does. It comes with, like I said, a really nice long cable that you could unplug if you want to, put the controller away. It's not so if the control cable breaks for whatever reason, you can easily replace it as well.
At least
And,
it's a
yeah, it's just-
detachable cable, which is better.
Yeah, and it's a fantastic like controller to feel, just to hold the weight of it. It's not as heavy as the Elite, but it's got a good set of weight to it. You got the hair triggers you can set on the back as well. You got little toggles for that you can do on the fly. Said you got the buttons you can do on the fly. You got the only other one I didn't really like was the capture button is placed right in the middle, but it's much smaller and much more like closer together with the start and back buttons, whatever they're called on the controller now. So I kept hitting the wrong one by mistake when I was trying to capture screenshots and stuff.
So I don't know if it's the same to you, but is that like that sort of configuration?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Why don't I grab it? That would be a good idea. Wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You carry on.
Give us some. I'm trying to like work out what it's going to look like compared to this one, but I mean, I don't know. But have you got an Elite Grey?
I had the Elite. I've got the Elite Core 2 one. That's and it's good, but the D-pad on it sucks. Some hair. Balls.
There's only been like, so I'd say I've got my Elite 1 up there. I've got my Elite 2 downstairs for my Xbox, and I've got the Power A one there. The only other one I've ever looked at, and I can't remember. I'm sure it's been reviewed on here, but it had hot swappable parts.
Yeah.
So like the D-pad could be moved in the bottom. You could put the analog stick up to like have two analog sticks at the bottom, so they're like PlayStation style. I can't remember who done it though, but it was definitely reviewed by somebody on the website, and that was the only other one I looked at, just for the fact that you could swap your PCs individually. But the Power A ones, as I was saying, they are one of, if not the best, third-party controller that I've seen.
Yeah, I think I got the one before that Jay did the previous Fusion instance of what you have, Jay. I think it had the swappable.
Yeah, you reviewed the Fusion Pro 2, yeah.
Because even like things like, so not at the same price point, but obviously like the scuff controllers are what you would say would go like neck and neck with your Elite controller. But like if you jump down like a level, what have you got like the Razer Wolverine, which is meant to be like the pro controller that's a bit of a cheaper price point. You never see like glowing reviews for them because they're either like shit battery life, they don't feel as well put together. And as much as like the Power A, you wouldn't call it a budget company because £80 still expensive in regards to a controller, for example. So it's not budget like £20 at a CEX type idea, but it's still a considerably cheaper pro controller than something like the Wolverine. And to me, seems like, obviously Jay's had hands-on experience with it, seems like it's a far superior controller.
Yeah, it's the very little fault, like I said, apart from those few little issues that I mentioned. But I mean, it comes in this lovely little case here.
Ooh, very nice.
Oh, very nice.
Like
it's got the long cable instead. It also got some extra thumbsticks which you can easily change out, which I must admit I didn't change out because they're not my preference whatsoever.
So I presume they'll be the same. They'll be like, domed and bigger. Yeah.
The one was
the actual controller itself.
That's what I got.
Yeah, one. And then we've got the actual controller itself, which is just about there.
I mean, like if you look at like both of them on the screen at the same time, they are as near as makes no difference identical. The only difference is when you sort of turn it round, and then I've got like the two buttons at the back compared to the four, and then the hair triggers up the top.
Yeah, so you got the little toggles there for the hair triggers and stuff. That's the button for assigning the button there. This one, I don't know whether yours says Ross or not, but you can flip off the cover itself.
Yeah, you can do face plates.
You can. This was I forget what is like Midnight Shadow or something, like a limited edition one. This one, but I think you can purchase other plates as well. And obviously that's how you change the actual sticks themselves.
I've got to give a white one of mine. I can change it to a black or a white face.
Yeah. And just really good. Like I said, got a good amount of weight to it. Buttons are nicely placed, and the vibration is. I know this will please Ian because he loves a bit of vibration in his controllers. Fucking strong in this, I tell you. I was playing Fortnite, obviously, and when the bus, it kicks off and you end up on the battle bus.
Yeah,
this thing was going to shake my house down. I thought, I'm going for it. Obviously, I guess that comes part and parcel of it being, part of it being wired in rather than battery powered. But very very impressive sort of rumble feedback and stuff, and it's got it all in the triggers and the body as well, like a regular Xbox controller would do. And really, like I said, obviously I haven't been using it because I've been playing on my Switch the last 4 days basically of Tears of the Kingdom, but that for the last 3 weeks I've had this, I think. And every time I've gone back to even my Elite or one of my standard pads, I've sort of put them down very quickly and gone, you know what, I'm going to go back to the Power A Fusion Pro 3, which is very enjoyable indeed.
Nice.
And like you said, Ross, if I was in a position where I needed to buy a new controller, I'd certainly give this very strong consideration before spending twice the amount on a wireless version, which basically does the same thing, and is slightly heavier.
I mean, because like your next comparison would be the Core, technically.
Yeah. But then you don't get the flappy pedals on the back.
Well, I was going to say that'd be like
the extra bits and pieces.
Yeah, if you were looking at it from the Microsoft point of view, and then it's again, if you can get over the wired part of it, you'd be not saying stupid, but it wouldn't be a wise decision to just dismiss it just because it's wired.
Yeah, and obviously because it is wired, you can then use it on your PC as well.
Yeah,
I know obviously you can Bluetooth a lot of controls to your PCs and stuff now, but
I was going to
it's
say
easy to plug it in.
With that is that to play with the PC is that you don't have a smaller cable, and the socket at the top you can only use specific USB cables to fit in that bit because it makes them too wide to fit into there, and it's freaking annoying.
Yeah, well, as far as I'm aware, I haven't tried to put another USB cable in this, but I think just take whatever cable you like.
I know, but how far are you away from your laptop? You don't need a 3-meter cable to connect to your laptop.
I think
true. No.
I think the only issue that I've got with it, and I think it's like what Gray's saying, is because it comes in like its own little surround at the top there.
Yeah.
It's like you need to have a very specific cable that will fit that area there.
Yeah. Exactly. I mean, I've just plugged in the first one I could grab down to the side of me, and that fit, but it's way smaller than the gap they've given you on this one.
Yeah,
it has to be a data one.
I tried to plug.
I tried
to plug the cable from this into another controller, and that the cable for this was too big for that other controller, but the other way around is all right. So you got plenty of room on this particular controller. But yeah, very, very good, very enjoyable. Highly recommended. Like I said, my review's up now, and of all of the controllers I've reviewed, it's definitely one of the best ones. So go play with it, go pick it up. I'll hold it up again, look at that. And I like the design on this one as well. It's pretty cool. I'm not really sure what other colors and stuff you can get, but it's pretty cool indeed. Anyway,
slick.
That's pretty much the only review we've had up this week. That's why we went a bit longer on it. We've had one other one from AJ, gave War Mongrels a well-deserved, by the sounds of it, 2 out of 10. It sounds like a pile of shit, so don't worry about playing that one. But you can go read his review on xboxtavern.com. That would be wonderful. But if you don't want to read reviews, even though you should read reviews, obviously, you can go check out games that are on Game Pass. And Ross, why don't you tell me what is coming to Game Pass for this month?
I shall indeed. So we've ticked over what's coming for the whole month, but I'll give you the ones that still aren't. And yet, I don't know when I was reading out this last time how I managed to miss this, because I actually love the game series. But on May 23rd, you've got Amnesia: The Bunker. The Amnesia games, I don't know if you've played them, are fucking terrifying. You're totally defenseless, and basically you only know that you're about to get murdered when you start going crazy, which, that's just what you want to hear for a game.
Yes.
Brilliant games, the Amnesia games.
I'm not sure if this is coming into early access or not, or if it's a full release, but it's definitely coming, supposedly in the next week to Game Pass. So I'm very interested to check that one out alongside you. Yeah,
that's a headphones on, complete darkness, and find out how long you need to go and change your boxers.
Mm-hmm.
May 23rd, you've got Planet of Lana on console and PC. May 25th, you've got Cassette Beast on console. May 25th as well, you've got Railway Empire 2 on console and PC. And rounding out the month on May 30th, you've got Far World Pioneers on console and PC.
Very nice indeed. Thank you very much. Graham, do you want to read the ones that are leaving as well as Games with Gold?
Yeah.
Pulling double duty.
Doubles. Yeah, I'll pick up the slack. And we have leaving, before we leave on Cloud Console and PC, Danganronpa 2, Goodbye Despair Anniversary Edition, also leaving on Cloud Console and PC. You have Hearts of Iron 4 on PC, that's leaving. Her Story on PC, that's leaving. And Umurangi Generation Special Edition on Cloud Console and PC, also leaving.
Is there any need for that Danganronpa game to be that long a name?
Yeah, I know.
Danganronpa 2 Goodbye Despair Anniversary Edition. Fuck, that's just unnecessary.
I mean, there could be
a few
specials.
Jay's bloody battle car things that pop out again.
Yeah, Super Rocket, Turbo Trainer, Runner, Backflip. Yeah.
Jetpack.
Yes. All right, and then tell us all about games that we can go pick up for free on Games of Gold.
So we have Peaky Blinders. That's going to start trickling away on the May the 15th. We currently have Star Wars Episode 1 Racer available until May the 31st. And then coming soon, you have Hoa, which is coming in on May the 16th to the June 15th.
Did anybody see that Star Wars Episode 1 Racer was in the top 15 games played on Xbox in the last 2 weeks?
Really?
True Achievements put it out.
I don't think they were playing it. I reckon they were listening to it because it's just fucking comedy gold.
So I don't know. Like I said, I don't know how it came about, but True Achievements put out like their games that they're like playing, or like how many games or how many people are playing X amount of games and that. And yeah, Star Wars Episode 1 Racer was in the list, and I was like, I'm pretty sure Grace said that game was a sack of shit. Why is everybody playing it?
It wasn't like, well, it was okay. It wasn't a complete sack of shit. It was just there wasn't much about at the time, and it was sort of the whole hype around Star Wars Episode 1, and it was just purely around the pod racing. It was hard as balls, but it was just I couldn't get out of the shop just because listening to Watto talk in the shop was just so funny. That was the best bit about the game, just listen to that guy talk. All his lines are sort of just funny. But yeah, the game itself was all right. It's just like a really hard sort of pod racing game. It was really, really tough.
Yeah, like I said last week, I had one race the other day, and that was enough for me. I'm not going back to it, but it was it was fun while it lasted. That Hoa, very tempted to check that. Well, I'm going to obviously redeem it, but I was looking on the Switch store last night, and I was like, oh, Hoa's on sale. It's only like £8 or something. I was like, wait a minute, I can get it for free in like 2 days. Nope, hold fire, don't purchase it. So I'm looking forward to checking that one out in the next few weeks, hopefully. Nice, thank you very much, well, gentlemen. Despite being a man down because he's off drinking fucking liters and liters of some dodgy beer in some country somewhere.
Sagres is nice. Come on, cut him some slack.
Excuse me, we've managed to make yet another podcast, episode 118th of Xbox Tavern's Xbox Tavern. The podcast which we record every Sunday, 8 p.m.
Yes.
Nice. Yes, thank you very much. I've been joined by Scottish Gov Ross and MPV Graham, and for myself and everyone else, thank you very much for listening / watching. We shall see you next week. Be good to each other. Remember, hashtag be nice, you cunts. Goodbye.
Bye.